video is the third... Wow, why am I even bothering? You read the title, you saw the thumbnail, you know this is part 3. Whatever, start the video. Alright, 4th generation, and this is the new character that you get to play as. Dirtbag. I mean Durin. And this opening cutscenes that he is just as likable as being mugged in a back alley. Oh my gosh. Leon, likable, all-American neighbor kid. Latius, duty and honor-bound chivalrous dude. Tama, dorky, womanizer, likable in a laughing at him kind of way. Durin is the male equivalent of a tsundere. Later in the generation, Ellis says this, and I feel it just neatly sums up Durin to a T.
I apologize. Please pay him no mind. He is always unpleasant.
However, I do admire one facet of Durin's philosophy. He thinks that it's freaking stupid he has to sacrifice his life because of a decision that his great-grandfather made. But besides that, he is just as cuddly as a cactus, which is actually kind of an insult to cacti. So this is the continent where the Rainbow Shard exists. We need a boat ride to get the darn thing, so we enlist the help of the pirate Hildegard. The fee for a boat ride? It's a piece of fruit that doesn't even exist. So we decide to head inland to find it. We do find a bunny character, great banter, really cute. Unfortunately, she's not a marriage candidate. And I don't think that I've mentioned this yet, but we have so many gosh dang playable characters in this game. Seriously, it's like Pokemon. You get tons of these little freaks, but you're only gonna use your main 6. And on very rare occasions, you might switch 1 or 2 out. But I have so many characters. Does anybody remember Viera lore? I don't! I only have 3 characters that even matter in this game. Ellis, Borgnine, and Vashtor. So we head out looking for the fruit. We get word that there was a harpy in town not too long ago, and you know, if we can find a denizen of the mountain, they can tell us if the fruit even exists in the first place, and where we might be able to find one. So we attempt to chase her down, but eventually we just come to a solid cliff face. But then, down from the heavens descended what appears to be a literal angel. Sylvie, the most adventurous harpy. Diana tells her to join our group and the harem wheel, and we are set. Well, first Sylvie has to say goodbye to Keith. Okay, how can we have names like these, and then in the exact same game have names like Keith? So boom, we grab the fruit and then go down to Hilda, and we set sail to her pirate hideout. She puts Valady in charge, and then we have multiple ways that we can go. The first place that I go gets us just another worthless companion. And then we head on down to a town and we run into the 3rd waifu, Ryu. But in order to recruit her to our team, we need to do a little task first. She is to be sacrificed to a powerful being. She is willing to accept her fate, but if we kill the demigod, she will instead join us. Hold on, wait, isn't this exactly what we did to save Yayoi? Look, if you can't make something original, just don't make your game 110 hours. The only difference is that instead of being able to focus on him, first we gotta take out his goons. It's kinda tough, but after getting rid of all the goons, my people are getting their super attacks filled up. So now I'm gonna go ahead and use my most powerful attack. We call it the F-Burst because that guy just got fanaticked. But at last we complete the harem wheel, and I gotta say, it's a pretty tough choice. None of them are gonna end me up in pedophile prison, and they are all decently cute. I can also appreciate each one of their personalities. I guess I'll just leave it up to the final questions to decide who I'm gonna marry. But right now we are nearing the Rainbow Shard, and we meet a fish lady who's willing to help us out. And for once, I'm gonna call her by the race that the game calls her, instead of just, you know, a pre-established fantasy race that I'm okay with pronunciating. The Ulysses! See, that's not a mythical race. We actually had one in the real world. Please tell me that somebody understands this joke. So we ask her to take us to the Rainbow Shard. She takes us to the Ulysses and we meet up with the Queen, and she says the gods have charged her with making sure that the Rainbow Shard never fell into the hand of man or whatever. Then Winfield is actually pretty selfless and says that he's willing to give up his life to save the world. Dude, you don't need to give up your life! Just your left arm, wrist down! Robot arm. We tell her that's nice, but we're gonna take the shard anyway. So we head on over to a cave, and not for nothing, but this is the exact same fight that we had to get the sacred water. We go to an octopus at the back of the cave, but after the fight, the shard is gone? But how? It was right there when we started! Landa.
How dare you return here? You know the law. You know very well why we returned here, do you not? Where is the Rainbow Shard? What will you do if I tell you I do not know?
Then we will ask every member of the column, every man, woman, and child. If we do not receive the answers that we seek, then every last one. Jeez Louise, Vashtor! Whoa! Based on new information, I have a bit of a deal for you. If you will destroy these 2 demon outposts, we'll just give you the shard out of the kindness of our hearts. Oh, I'll take something out of your hearts. Vashtor, it's a pretty good deal. Let's go. So we go blow up the fortresses, and then we go back and receive the shard. After that, Hilda has served her purpose and drops us off at the land. But not 2 seconds go by before her subordinate, Keela, comes up and says,
"This rod will be your doom."
Oh, also there was a mutiny. Do you think maybe you could come back and help with that? So we head to the pirate cave and just kill a ton of pirates. It wasn't too tough to get Hilda and save her, but after we save her, she quits the pirate business to join our gang for good, which is actually pretty good for me because I used her in a lot of the battles. But before we cast off, she leaves Keelik in charge of the Dead Storm Pirates.
Master, I won't let you down.
So, once we get back to land, we can't really find an acceptable smithy anywhere to make the hammer. But we do get word of a goblin army forming, and so we head up to fight them. While we were preparing for the battle, Vashtor asks Ellis if he can speak to her privately about Durin. Though he lacks the power to do so much as bruise my lord, he soon will. Therefore, dispose of him I must. Okay, so one of my biggest fears while playing this game was that Vashtor might one day betray the group. I mean, look at his edgy character design. Usually you can tell just by looking at the character if they're going to be evil or good or whatever. And although he didn't die, I got another Pro ZD clip that pretty much works with this.
I put my best equipment on you. What? I level grinded you for hours.
With Vashtor betraying my group, my only powerful units left are Borgnine and Ellis, but wait, what are you doing? Don't you dare kidnap her! Oh no! Now all I have left is Borgnine. Borgnine, what are you doing here? What are you doing? You better not chase them. No! Borgnine, come back! Come back! Frick! I'm screwed! I just lost my 3 main units. The enemies are level 60s. While I do have Plum, Durin, and Hilda at that level, the next closest units are 10 levels below where I need them to be. This game is an absolute trudge when you have people where you actually need them to be. Now I have 3 morons who I don't even know how to synergize their attacks with everyone, and we are freaking dead. So, after a few attempts and by a miracle of religion and science, I actually won, and Borgnine came back. I still don't have Shinestorm or Tuskblade, but at least Borgnine, my bae, he's here, he has over 200 strength, so this is doable again. But we need to hurry to save Ellis, because her high elf blood is needed for some, weird ritual they're doing. Chase them through a forest and kill a dragon. Meanwhile, Vashtor's making the necessary preparations to make sure that the fortress can be held.
Why don't you go home and cry to your granny? Dolph, tie up the brat. Lisa, hold the book. Vincent, get the truck. And Keith, darn it, change your name, please. That's not scary, and I'm embarrassed to say it. Boris, try that. Keith, watch out for Keith.
So we fight off all those demons, and then eventually we fight him, but he wasn't too tough. That King Midas boss fight, it changed me, man. I can no longer taste cherry, and I no longer get a sense of pride whenever I get a high score in Guitar Hero. But I learned by Joe how to beat boss fights in Record of the Arduous War. Nothing. In his final words, Boris told us where we could find Ellis, and we make haste. I mean, we need to head straight there. We need to hurry before they can complete that ritual they're gonna do to her. We need to stop and have the girls ask Durin what kind of a man he is. It's not like the woman who's the most important to him in his life is in grave danger. No. We need to play a game of let's make a date right now. Okay, so the questions revealed that I could choose Sylvie or Hilda. And I don't know, while the banter between Hilda and Durin is great, I think it's more suited to a long life of bickering and raising children. So I think that a brief marriage with Sylvie is the optimal choice. Now all that's left to do is save Ellis! So that worthless character that I recruited earlier performed a daring maneuver and saved Ellis, and now I have her back. Oh, I missed you so much, Ellis, you and your awesome attacks. Alright, now all that's left is we need to fight this one guy, and as I mentioned with that Boris fight, I can curb stomp any little creep that I want to in this game now. And with that, I go to the spire, I hook up with the Harpy Lady, and we move on to the final continent. And here's the final kid, Rex! Oh boy, he has his mother's wings.
If I had wings, I'd fly away from here. But wherever I'd land, the people would think that I was weird. They'd be like, why do you have wings? Did your mom have sex with a bird or something?
Well, it was my dad, but yeah.
Now, at this point, the story just decides to swan dive off the side of a cliff.
There is no story in Gen 5 at all. The first two generations, you're a rebel trying to save a kingdom that betrayed you. The third generation, there was a civil war, elves ingredient gathering, and the fourth generations, you saw harpies, you sailed the sea, and you had your three best characters leave you.
But two of them came back. They're such sweeties.
In this, you simply go to fortresses and kill the dudes inside of them. Seriously, I think there are at least 7 fortresses, and that's all they have you do in this generation. They also had some really tough bosses. I'll talk about those in a bit, but I do want to give a little bit of praise to this generation. So, while there was no story, there was a ton of character development. I mean, since I have a billion characters, there wasn't a whole lot of depth for every single character, but there was one moment for each character where Daishana pulls them aside and asks,
Why do you stick with this group?
well, that's a pretty deep question. And each character gives you an answer that really tells you a lot about them. And this includes the characters that they add into the mix. There are 3 characters that they add in. So first off was Alberti's granddaughter, and I just realized I never talked about Alberti. Okay, so Alberti was the character that was the rebel in like Generation 3. He actually was Princess Natasha's boyfriend. So anyway, they ended up getting married, they had a kid, and that kid had a kid, and then that kid ended up finding us. Basically, the granddaughter of Alberti found our team, joined up, and she's fighting with us now. Her name's Beatrice. She's cool. The second character was one that we met on the way to one of the fortresses. You see, when the fortress was taken by the demons, they killed every single one of the harpies, except one. This young harpy is fueled by rage, vengeance, hatred. She wants to kill everyone ever. And the third character, much like the bosses, I kind of need to talk about him later. So I'll just talk about the bosses now, and then we'll get to him. So, I want to say that every other fortress just had a downright Durgle boss. The first one was a Gurg with a pet dragon, and he was pretty hard. He took probably an hour and a half for me to finally beat. I mean, Gurgs are basically a King Midas. They can do a frick ton of damage. They have a frick ton of health. They're going to kill a lot of people, and you need them to kill a lot of people to get enough AP to take them down. And each one of them can hit a huge area and kill a lot of your people. And when it's possible for your entire team to get wiped out, it's just go to jail, do not pass go, give me $200. So yeah, he took me an hour and a half to beat. Oh, and then there was this battle with the 2 Gurgs. This one was a pain in my keister. What's worse than having one dude that can wipe out your whole team in one turn? 2 of the degenerates! And it took me 2.5 hours to beat. But that is nothing compared to the 1 Gurg and 2 dragons. These 3x3 square dudes just take a ton of hits, but the worst part is they're so big that they take away the one thing that gives you a semblance of chance in these battles against a dude who can kill anything within 4 spaces. Movement. Even though it was just 1 Gurg, the 2 dragons made it so it took over 7 straight hours! You see, the thing is, this game isn't like Castlevania or Ghosts of Goblins, where you can be playing and then all of a sudden, oh, I failed, and you die in 1 minute, and then I'll go back to the beginning and try again. No. For this, you need to plan intricate attack patterns for over 20, maybe even 40 minutes. You're going, you're having a great time, and then all of a sudden, he pops up behind you, just takes out a huge chunk of your team. You try to recover, but you can't, and then you lose half an hour of your life, and you just need to try again. It's really just, it crushes your morale. And then there was Vashtor. Alright, buddy, I've been waiting for this. It was so easy. Easiest fight in the game. I just sent Rex up to get murdered and slowly built up everybody's AP to 250. And then I was ready to unleash the beatdown of the century! But if this fight goes for more than 6 turns, it ends immediately and you win. That's why I said it was the easiest fight in the game. Once the battle was over, the vengeful harpy said, "I'm gonna pull his freaking head off!" And then Rex said to her, "Nah, man, vengeance is really lame. You should try forgiveness. Here, I'll show you. Hey, Vashtor, I forgive you. Wanna join our team?" And Vashtor said, "Yeah, sure, that'd be cool."
Vegetalo, we'd be glad to have you on our team.
Thank you. Guys, Vegetalo killed my entire family. Remember that scene where he was like,
Look upon your dead family, Sosuke Bosuke. Every single one of them slain by my hand. You, Sosuke Bosuke. Your family sucks. I will never regret doing
I
this.
just feel like he's getting off a teensy bit scot-free.
But Sosuke, look, he has a funny mustache now, and he's so endearing and a good guy.
Yeah, but
Sorry, guys. I know we had our issues in the past. Totally my B. I was just a little Vegeta Loco back then.
Do you have any idea how well pro ZD videos work for this game in particular? So Vashtor's back, but he left for the better part of a generation, and he's still at level 66. Even though he was level 90 during the fight! So that's pretty much all the points of Generation 5. But at last, we have tracked down the main villain guy, Summeril. But before I could fight him, I needed to go through a fight with 4 Gurgs. I tried so hard to beat this level, but I couldn't. I played this for 10 hours, but every single time, all of a sudden a guy would pop behind, take out a whole portion of the team. I tried to get my guys to bring them back up, but I couldn't. And you know, after having your head beat against a wall for 10 straight hours, a whole world of possibilities open. It's entirely possible that I may have let a tapestry of slurs and swears so vulgar that Satan himself would be like, "Bro, chill." It's also entirely possible that I may have logged on to World of Long Plays and downloaded the last few parts of it so I could finish this video. I'm just saying it's a possibility. I'm not saying I did, but you know, it's possible. So after the 4 Gurgs, you get to fight Summeril. He seemed a little easier than the Gurgs. In fact, I forgot to mention this earlier, but we ran into this dragon, and Vashtor said, "Hey, this thing is pretty tough. We better run away because it's even stronger than Summeril." And Rex said, "No. If we can't beat this thing, what chance do we stand against Summeril?" And the dragon was relatively easy. So, we beat down Summeril, and then Daishana decided to give us some exposition. Okay, so now we've got some options. The reason Daishana needed all of my family's souls was so that we could seal away 5 bad gods underneath the continents. So, right now, we can either use Rex's soul to seal away the last one, or we can go to each continent and free my family and the Dark God, but then we'd have to kill it. And Rex thinks about it for a while, but he decides, yeah, no, that's what we should totally do. So we get to go to each continent, we free Rex's family, and then we free the 3 waifus. And then the Dark Gods rise, and we do battle with them. And these fights seemed pretty easy. I mean, the 3rd one did have this move that took away everybody's ability to attack, and the 4th one had an attack that did over 1,000,000 damage! 1,000,000. 1,000,000! That's a 1 followed by 6 zeros! But hey, 100,000 damage or 10 times that amount. If you leave one dude alive, he'll rummage through his pockets, use some fragments of life to help everyone up, and wait, what are all of these items? I didn't have any of these items! These are the only items that I had. Oh, and you're playing on easy! And what else is there to say? Well, I kind of like how some of the gods were written. Some of their dialogue is kind of what you'd expect from a god who created the world and the humans on it. The first one said, "Alright, if my children can actually defeat me, I'll die a proud parent." And the 4th one said, as she died, "I leave this world to the children that I love." That's pretty benevolent. Like, these gods aren't even necessarily evil gods. It's just that they had disagreements with the other gods on how the world should be run, and so they actually killed another god, and if you kill another god, you get sealed under a continent. I mean, you can't have gods killing other gods. Makes for a very hostile work environment. It's very unprofessional, really.
So, after killing the 5 gods, this game still refuses to end! So now we need to go to the god that created the gods to make sure he doesn't create any more gods so that we can be free of gods. And he is tough. Like, here's the thing. The Let's Play took, like, the exact same amount of time it took to beat the first 5 gods that it took to beat this guy. But this guy's still just so bland. He's exactly what you'd expect from a final boss super god.
You mortals are nothing but insects to me. Ah, you killed me, but I'm all powerful. Why'd you kill me? How'd you kill me? Mommy!
And then Borgnine leaves, Ellis cries, and bang bang boop, credits roll, and then there's a post-credits scene. Ellis takes Rex to the place where Leon sold his soul to Diashana, and Ellis proposes to Rex. But hey, if 5 generations of souls and 110 hours of gameplay was just to marry a little elf girl, so be it.
Did you say marry a little girl?
Next time on To Catch a Predator. So, that's record of the arduous war. I'm sorry that this video took so long to make. Over a month. I think about 6 weeks when I finally finished the editing, but it's only gonna garner about 350 views because it's not a video about Fire Emblem and nobody watches any of my stuff. But this video is for my benefit. I've wanted to make a video for this game for just the longest time. I didn't quit. Well, kind of. But, you know, thanks for letting me make this video. If you watched it, come back next week. We'll be doing an episode of Game Rain. It'll be great.